From the great city of Seattle, where a weather system is parked right over us right now. And with that in mind, the roof is extended. That means we're going to play baseball anyway. Well, welcome everybody to Mariner Baseball as the Mariners look for a sweep today. Complete a sweep against the Toronto Blue Jays. Dave Sims, Mike Flowers with you. And let's play ball. Jason Vargas is going to tee it up here for the Mariners. Coming off a rough outing his last time out. Knocked around by Cleveland. And he faces a good hitting ball club, the Toronto Blue Jays. It'll be Yunel Escobar leading off. Escobar off to an outstanding start. You can see the numbers. 48 degrees. It feels colder. Town's still buzzing after the Michael Pineda home debut last night. 7 1/3. Both clubhouses very impressed by this young man. Good beginnings for him. Rodriguez flips it over to Smoke for the first out. Let's take a look at the rest of the batting order for John Farrell's Toronto Blue Jays.
Well, manager John Farrell makes a couple of changes. You have Juan Rivera. He will hit cleanup today. John McDonald, he's getting his first start of the series at second base. He will hit 8. Jose Molina, the veteran catcher, will hit 9. Look at the numbers for Vargas last season. 192 2/3 innings for him. 116 strikeouts. Just 54 walks.
He's got a better pitching record here at home than he does on the road, Jason Vargas. Here's Corey Patterson. He has had an outstanding series. Strike one. Patterson was on the back end of the Justin Smoke outstanding play late last night. Gil Oliva put a tag on him, and if you're a football fan, if you've ever watched sumo wrestling, you roll those hips up and explode through the man. And Miguel said it felt good to protect the home plate there, as that would snag nicely on one hop by Adam Kennedy.
Patterson's been hitting the ball hard to the right side. Kennedy getting a chance to start in today's game, makes a nice play on the one hopper. Hey, look at the rest of the defense. In the outfield will be Bradley, and left Langerhans getting to start center field. Ichiro, and right on the left side of the infield is Rodriguez and Ryan. Just saw Adam Kennedy make a nice play. Justin Smoke over at first. Chris Jimenez getting the start behind the plate this afternoon.
2 down, and Jose Bautista looks at a strike. Talked about Bautista on the radio pregame show. And talking about Pineda, he said, boy, if he gets a little wildness in him, or it comes inside tight to people, you guys are going to have a Nolan Ryan on you, because that fastball was outstanding. He thought all 3 of his pitches were really good. But he said the 97 coming downhill, you talked about it last night. The guys could not get on top of the ball, and they popped up. They had so many pop-ups and flyouts last night.
Well, I think the other thing, too, is we know that he has that in, because we saw it in Arlington where he felt like he needed to do it. Last night, his command of his fastball was supreme. He just kept dotting the outside corner with it at 96 miles an hour. There was no reason to move anybody back, because they just couldn't handle it.
Bautista, the Henry Aaron Award winner last year's most outstanding offensive player in the American League. And this guy had a humongous turnaround, plus 41 in home runs, up to 54. So winning the award named after Aaron was the best thing that happened to him, as Vargas off to a 1-2-3 start. Well done by Jason. No scores. The Mariners come to bat. First Avenue, Dave Niehaus Way here in Seattle. Take a look at the Mariner batting order.
A couple of changes. Hitting second today, it'll be Adam Kennedy. Then Jack Cuss back in the lineup. He had last night off. He will hit 4th. You have Langerhans leading the club with 3 home runs. He will hit 6th. And then Chris Jimenez, the catcher, will hit 9th. Look at the look at numbers for Drabek last year. ERA at a 4.76. Opponents average 2.95.
Kyle Drabek His daddy Doug, a very good pitcher with the Pittsburgh Pirates. In fact, the last time the Pirates were relevant in the National League back in the early 90s. Ball one to Ichiro. Doug now a pitching coach with the Arizona affiliate in Visalia in the California League. He was with Yakima last year. Ichiro 1 for 4 and just misses a base hit here.
And the defense for the Jays. Yeah, Patterson just called up. He will be in center field. And on the infield, Escobar off to a great start. John McDonald getting a start at second base. Encarnacion on the DH is at first tonight. Molina's behind the plate.
Backhand by Encarnacion, flips to Driebeck for the first out. Kyle Driebeck talking to John Farrell, his manager, who was a coach and a pitcher in his days. He says, what a competitor. And they speak of him just like the Mariners speak of Pineda, unafraid. He's 6'1", 210. But he's built like Tom Seaver, but he doesn't drop and drive with a big leg drive like Seaver. But time you can put a guy's name in the same sentence with Tom Seaver, it's pretty doggone good. Here's Adam Kennedy. Wally Bell behind home plate. Laz Diaz at first. Scott Barry, the umpire, at second, and John Hirschbeck at third. Driebeck was a prized possession of the Phillies. Eastern League Player of the Year, Pitcher of the Year. Came over in the Halladay trade. Back up the middle. Base hit for Adam Kennedy.
And Adam off to a nice start, hitting 294 coming into today's game. It's a fastball, middle in, down. Solid base hit up the middle.
That's going to be interesting here. Bautista told me before the game that last year when Driebeck would get a runners on base, he says the focus was not the same. He's made the adjustment this year and he's got to maintain his composure. Look out. Guy just moved, and the spot that he vacated, that's where the ball hit. Side to Bradley. Bradley 1 for 3. Big RBI in the third inning after Langerhans hit the 2-run homer. That turned out to be the game winner. Let's see Milt stand with the earplugs. Milton's wearing the earplugs at home. He's going to need noise canceling headphones on the road then.
I say keep the earplugs in there. He's been hitting with those things in there the last few days. You mentioned the RBI that he had in last night's ball game and threw out a couple of hits the day before that.
Whatever works, but
hey, don't change a thing.
It's unusual to say the least. As he goes the other way, bounces it off of Nick's chest. Everybody's safe. Hit it hard. E5 on Jason Nix.
Ball is hit hard right at Nix. You see the spin of the ball spinning sideways. It comes up on him, hits him right in the belt buckle. Definitely a play that he should handle.
And for Nix, his second error of the season. Here's Jack Cust, struggling. Got last night off. 2 nights ago, Jack went 0 for 3 with a bases loaded walk. On the night he walked twice. They get Kennedy, fielder's choice. E5, so Kennedy to second on the fielder's choice, and Bradley aboard on the E5 as Jack looks at the strike.
And we were talking about Draybeck and keeping his concentration when men are on base or things aren't going well. Well, there you have a situation where it looks like he's going to get a double play ball to get out of the inning. Instead, he's in a lot of trouble now. Just keep an eye on that, see if he continues to pound the strike zone. First pitch was a quality pitch on the outside corner.
Outside to Jack Cust, still looking for his first Mariner home run. Draybeck 0-3 last year, 4.76 ERA. Had Tommy John surgery a couple of years ago. Two and one. Born in Victoria, Texas, lives in the Woodlands, Texas right now. First round pick of the Phillies in June '06. Justin Smoak's on deck. Fly ball left field. Backs up Juan Rivera. First time we're seeing him in this series. Runners will hold. 2 outs. On the former Los Angeles Angel of Anaheim. So 2 outs here. Smoak. 3 for his last 6 in a fabulous play last night. Making the catch, making the plant, making a perfect throw to Miguel Olivo.
Nice one-hop throw, easy throw for Olivo to handle. It's good to see too with Justin is he's not just getting his hits, he's getting 270 coming in the game, but he has 5 doubles so far. It's second in the American League. I think it'll be too much longer before he hits his first home run.
Steady climb in the batting average for Mr. Smoak. He was down at 226 entering the game on Monday. Ball 1 from Draybeck. There are the splits on Justin Smoak. 37 at bats total, 21 right, 16 left. He's ahead to count here 2-0 with 2 on, 2 outs here in the first. Glad you could join us. Kyle Draybeck against Jason Vargas. Kennedy and Bradley, the base runners for the Mariners. Dribble fair. Draybeck gets over, flips to Encarnacion, and that'll do it for the Mariners. We're through 1, no score. Now you here at Safeco Field, well, you can purchase 2 full season tickets and receive 2 for free. Select seats are available in the Terrace Club, outfield, and view reserve seating areas. Save big right now by calling 206-346-4003. That's 206-346-4003. Top of the second, Dan Wilson joins us right now. Daniel, good to have you with us. How are you?
Thanks, Dave. Good to see you.
Good to see you too. What do you think of this ball club so far? Some of the games you've seen.
No, it's you know, it's always nice to get that load off your shoulders, get a couple W's like they did the last couple of nights, and have a chance for a sweep. And it's great to be at the ballpark here, that you can feel their excitement that things have turned around a little bit, and their outlook's much more positive.
You as a catcher had to love watching Michael Pineda last night.
Yeah, that was a performance to watch. I'll tell you that he's just such a presence on the mound. Is intimidating, his size, his composure was excellent for a young pitcher, and did a really nice job out there.
Bouncing ball to the shortstop Ryan off the bat of Rivera. 1 out. far so good for Vargas coming off the rocky performance against Cleveland. Mike, this is 4 up, 4 down.
Yeah, I think it's a situation for Vargas. He just didn't have his command, and for him to have success today, it looked to me after watching Pineda, and we talked about it, he does not have 96 miles an hour, but what he can do is run pitches off the outside corner and use his changeup effectively, which is what he did to Batista. Ended up striking him out. And I think, you know, the main thing is keep the ball on the ground, and you have those days, Danny, and he had one the other day, but I figured he would bounce back. This kid knows how to compete.
Well, and I think the thing too is if you're Chris Jimenez behind the plate right now, you're thinking, hey, Toronto's playing right into the game plan right now. They're swinging the bat, they're putting the ball on the ground, and you know that Vargas has the good stuff, and that's right where you want to be, and his confidence begins to grow early, and again, he's forgotten all about that last start. He's all Toronto today, and so far what they've put together as a game plan has been pretty effective.
How do you think it affects his preparation? He had a chance to watch the club, the Jays, the last 2 days, but he also was watching Felix and then Pineda pitch to him. How does that help him as far as getting ready to do what he needs to do?
Well, you know, obviously he's coming from a different side. He's a different type of pitcher. He probably checked out some video of some of the other left-handers in the league that throw against him and have had success against Toronto. But again, you can tell tendencies of hitters. You can see what their approach is in the box, and those are all things that he's prepared for on the bench the first 2 nights, and that's really what he's looking for. He's not necessarily looking for the results against the Pineda or a Felix. He's just looking at their approach in the batter's box.
He said for Nix, his 4th of the series. He is now 4 for 8, 1 for 3 last night. Here's J.P. Arancibia. He's DHing today. Ryan, hopefully his hand is okay. We saw Figgins get hurt a couple of nights ago, and now Brendan checking his left thumb. That's not good. Eric White said he hopes to have Figgins back for tomorrow's game, the opener in Kansas City. There's Figgins, rolled over on a ball, a diving attempt Monday night in the 2nd inning, and a hard shot hit by Nix to his left on the dive. Rolled up on that left thumb. It really blew up on him, but today Eric Wood said the swelling was down significant.
Danny, would you still be a part of the pitcher-catcher meetings on days when you weren't catching?
Yeah, you would, because if you've been in a game in this series especially, your input is valuable, because again you're going to be able to talk about a hitter's approach and some of the things that made the guy that you caught effective in against a lineup, and not only that, but you've played against a lot of these guys over the years. You know how they're going to approach the pitcher, so it's always the more information you can get, the better.
Good group shot right there. You saw Franklin Gutierrez. They hope to get him down to Tacoma for a few days. Eric Wood said maybe about 3 days, and then they'll make an evaluation there. Pineda, Gutierrez, Levo, Felix.
It's just good to see him here in the ballpark in uniform.
2 balls, 2 strikes to J.P. Arancibia. Strike 3 call. So Vargas with a 2nd strikeout. 2 down here in the 2nd inning.
Take a look at the last pitch from Jason. They want to go inside. It's right on the inside corner, knee high. Nice pitch.
Doing a nice job of mixing it up, Mike. That obviously the hitter looking something completely different than that heater in there, and just really surprised him and buckled him in there.
Which is a good point, because he will obviously he's going to pitch away more times than not. When you're back behind there, is that something where, okay, well, he's thrown 2 or 3 pitches away, maybe mixing the change of time to bust him in, or do you get a feel for the hitter maybe leaning out there a little bit?
It's a little bit of both. I mean, you know, you definitely want to, as you take a look at Jimenez, you know, he's watching the hitter's approach from the batter's box, and he's trying to decide whether or not you double up in there, you go back out with a changeup, and again, you know, Vargas's game is you know, that cutter, that fastball in to speed up the bat, and then that changeup to get him out front, and it's really a cat and mouse game, and you have to watch for anything that you can see the hitter doing that is going to give you some input on what to do with the next pitch.
He's going to have to be careful with Encarnacion, who's 5 for 7 the last 2 nights. Playing at first base, this afternoon. DH the last 2 outings. High fly ball left field for Milton Bradley. Another good inning for Vargas. Gives up the base hit to Nix. Strikeout looking and a pop out. No score bottom of the second here at Safeco Field. Let's take a look at the Mariners calendar, brought to you by Sleep Country USA. Plan ahead for some TV viewing of the Mariners on the road. Kansas City for 4, and then back home, Detroit and Oakland will be coming in. Ryan Langerhans leads it off. Langerhans with a home run last night. Chris Chambliss said he's shortened up his stride with his lead foot, and it's made a big difference. And here's a look at what Chambliss was talking about. Boy, that sounded great. Home run leader on the ball club. He's got a great eye. I mean, here he is 3-0. I mean, we saw him walk 4 times in a game earlier this week.
He has pop. We've seen that. Him as a pinch hitter. He's won a few games for the Mariners coming off the bench. Wow.
He's pretty dialed in here.
Yeah, I think right now, middle in, you're in trouble. Take a look at this last swing by Ryan. Watch him stay behind the ball. That's what I've noticed. He's done such a nice job. That looked just like the home run that he hit last night. Maybe shortening that front stride has kept him back a little bit more instead of drifting out in front. Probably helping him identify pitches too. As long as your head's not moving around, you have a better chance.
So another walk by Langerhans. Start here for the Mariners in the second. Hero from 2 nights ago, Luis Rodriguez.
I think these guys getting a chance to play early is going to benefit the guys too later on in the season. You obviously would rather have Franklin out there. He's your Gold Glove center fielder, and Figgins is missing a few days now. But getting these guys some playing time early, it's got to help them, Danny, because they're getting a chance to get some at bats and run those at bats together. Because later on, when the team is healthy, it may be a week or 10 days before these guys have to go out there and pinch hit.
Yeah, that's obviously the toughest job in baseball is just pinch hitting and getting that at bat every 4 or 5 nights. And you're right, to get a couple of games early in the season where you're finding your stroke and you're getting your stroke to where you want it to, and then when you need it in a pinch hit situation, it's there for you.
The main thing, you see it a lot coming out of spring training. All these guys have had a chance to play a lot, and then you sit. That first month, it seems like you sit there forever. So to get the chance to get out there, and you can take all the batting practice that you want, but there's nothing like live pitching and seeing 92 miles an hour and somebody putting a wrinkle in it is going to benefit you down the road.
1-0 to Rodriguez. Langerhans got him. He was leaning. Trade back caught him. 1 out. Laz Diaz, the first base umpire. So 1 out now. And Rodriguez looks at a strike. 1-1. Rodriguez 1 for 9 left-handed hitting, 1 for 6 right-handed. Brendan Ryan's on deck. Luis 0 for 3 last night with a fly out, ground out, and strikeout looking. No strikeouts. A walk for Draybeck. Picking up one hit. To left field. Rivera barely has to move. 2 outs. Make sure you catch all the big matchups this season. The Mariners 16 game plan. You're going to get great seat location and enjoy many season ticket holder benefits, which include discounted prices. You get a flexible ticket exchange policy and a lot more. Reserve your 16 game plan right now. Here's the number: 206-346-4003. 206-346-4003. 2 outs for Brendan Ryan. 1 for 3 last night. Took his batting average from last night from 167 up to 185. Now to the third baseman, Nix. Easy play. Mariners are gone here in the second. No score at Safeco.
Welcome back to Safeco Field. Mariners and Blue Jays in the finale. Angie Mentic here. If you have a couple extra minutes, check out the Baseball Museum down the third base side. There's all kinds of great stuff. This is Ken Griffey Jr.'s actual locker from the Kingdom. And the very next locker, there's several things from Ichiro's career, but you guys know there's no way that Ichiro and Ken Griffey Jr. are right next to each other because Griffey always took up 2 lockers.
And Griffey would also tickle him like crazy, too. We saw a lot of that the last couple of years down the clubhouse, horsing around and have a lot of fun, and got Ichiro very loose. He would tickle him to the point where he would get red and start sweating. John McDonald making a start today, just his 7th game here in the young going here. This is game number 12 for both teams. John, the second baseman, batting 8th, followed by Jose Molina, the catcher, and then back to the top of the order, Yunel Escobar.
That one looked like it got Jimenez, so Wally Bell takes a little stroll out there to give him time. It's sort of that mutual understanding that catchers and umpires have. If you get a tip, you just, the other guy takes a minute for you to shake it off.
Right. McDonald stepped out too.
It looked like that shook Chris up a little bit.
McDonald, a .250 hitter last year, 6 home runs and 23 runs batted in. Part of the deal of catching Jimenez before the game, I asked him about what did you think of Olivo's play. He said, man, that was the best play I've ever seen. He said if Ray Lewis had been coming in, that would have been, Miguel would have won that battle. As Vargas back with a strikeout, his 3rd. 1 down here in the 3rd inning.
I'll tell you what's interesting to me as a catcher watching that play is typically a catcher is right there at home plate, standing there, kind of an open target. But in that case, Miguel had to kind of go up the line just a hair for that ball, and had some momentum going into Patterson, and I think maybe that was one of the things that Corey was seeing as he came down the line, because you see Miguel go to his right a little bit, and then he's got some momentum going into that runner, and boy, I don't think Corey was going to win that battle. Miguel is just such a solid body, and to have momentum like that would have hurt.
230 against about $160, and you could also see there that he was ready to drop a knee had Patterson gone into a slide.
Yeah, there was not much Corey could do other than pull up, and he did that. But boy, I tell you, Miguel is such a strong body type back there, and tough to penetrate.
Well, the other thing with it too is it doesn't happen very often to where, as a catcher, you get the ball early enough to where you can actually get in a position to, if nothing else, to protect yourself. He was able, like you were saying, Danny, able to get in there and actually do a little bit more. There was going to be some damage if Patterson wanted some, but most of the time the ball is on you and the runner is too.
Yep.
He had a chance to be aggressive as opposed to passive and have to take the blow. I mean, that's such a better position to be able to deliver it.
Absolutely, yeah. Typically, as a catcher, you're looking out into the outfield. You don't even really know where that runner is, and And you're right, Mike, that the fact that he got the ball, turned around and saw even where Corey was, and was able to get his body in a perfect position to block the plate. And boy, that's a tough spot for Corey, I tell you that.
I know the throw was like you're saying, a little bit off. Great play by Justin Smoke, by the way. But if you're standing there and it's going to be a good throw, how did you normally do it? Would you have the plate, between your legs, or would you be out in front of home plate? How were you taught to do it, and how would you like to see catchers do it?
Well, obviously the main priority in that situation is your knee.
Here's Molina driving one into the gap. And as you know, the Molinas family business is catching, not speed, but they can hit too. Got a 2-2 pitch, and he's at second base.
So your main priority at that juncture is your knee. You don't want your toes facing the pitcher's mound. You want your toe actually facing down that third base line, because that's the way your knee will bend, and that's the way the hinge of your knee goes. So really, I would put the heel of my foot on the front corner of home plate, point my toe down at third base line, and again, you have to sort of turn away from the third base line to field that ball, and again, your head, your eyes are completely off that runner, and you have no idea where he is most of the time. Your job is to catch it and get yourself in a position to block that plate. And once you caught the ball, then you could take home plate away, and that was the fun part, when you were able to do that.
Did you have more plays like that where you were able to deliver the blow, or more where you absorbed the blow?
More where you absorbed the blow. That was kind of my stance, is catch the ball and absorb the blow. Then there wasn't going to be much damage, and it seemed to work, and as long as you got yourself in a position to block home plate, you could take that blow and get the out.
And your legs, very important to be balanced in there too.
Yeah, you just gotta, you're preparing for the worst. You prepare for the worst and hope for the best, and
right.
and typically it worked out.
You're still standing here, pal. 1-1 to Escobar. One out, runner at second. Second hit given up by Vargas.
Well, the other thing too is Blau was our third catcher. I knew we had a great insurance policy down the line there.
He was eager to get in there too.
That's right.
No, I was constantly looking for Danny to olay that play, stay in the game.
1-2 to Escobar, grounded out to third in his first at bat. Didn't like the call. One for 7 on this series is Escobar, the shortstop for Toronto. John Farrell, first time he's managed anywhere. This one goes opposite field down the line. That is a fair ball. Coming around to score on the ground rule double is Molina. RBI for Escobar. Toronto has a 1-0 lead.
It's like he gets a pitch. It's a pitch away. Thought maybe this ball was going to slice foul, but it hit right on the line and then bounce into the stands.
Laz Barrera's the horse trainer. Laz Diaz, the umpire at first base. There's Corey Patterson. What a series he's had. Escobar's RBI is 6th of the season. Vargas ahead 0-2. Bautista's on deck. The other interesting thing about the Smoke Olivo Patterson play, it was good to get the out because you take the bat out of Bautista's hand. He's a guy, he's your big home run threat. But it's interesting here. Chris Ray said, I wanted him to drop the ball. 0-2, slap foul.
Well, I know when we were finished last night, we went over to the radio side to wrap things up over there. Dave Henderson's working on the radio side now, and Hendu was saying basically the same thing, that he teaches the outfielders in a game like that, if the ball is foul, let it go ahead and drop, because you're probably not going to throw the runner out. It was a nice play. Most first basemen, I don't think, are going to make the play that Justin made last night. But I'm not so sure I want to see Bautista get another swing.
I'm hearing you. And that
had 54 home runs last year.
That's part of the great debate of that whole play. Breaking ball popped up, giving Chase Jimenez no play. I mean, that might be that 1 in 10 play that you see, like that you'll see made. I mean, how many times have you seen that in the course of your career, Dan?
Well, I mean, you don't see it very often, and first of all, there aren't a lot of first basemen that are as athletic as Smoke was. He got over there, did a really nice job to make the catch, and then great presence of mind to turn and threw a strike really to home plate, and you don't see that very often, and typically the play is to let that ball drop. But you're right, with a guy like Bautista, hey, make the play.
One and two to Patterson, just activated off the DL a couple of days ago. Came in here and hit the ball hard. 2 for 5 the first night, 2 for 4 last night. 2-run homer in the 6th inning. And what was a 7-0 Toronto lead. This dig by Jimenez. Of course, the Mariners came back and won that game. Vargas on the Mariner calendar. To left center field, running over is Bradley. Makes the catch. Runner will hold. 2 outs. That'll bring up the aforementioned Jose Bautista. 2 for 3 his first night, 1 for 4 last night. His Blue Jays have lost 4 consecutive games, 5 of the last 6. And Jose was talking about a play they had Saturday in Anaheim where there was an obstruction play and they had a run taken off the board and it cost them the game. And he said they haven't been worth anything since then. Weaver put 15 Ks on them on Sunday. Blow the 7-0 lead here, and then they get a whole lot of Pineda last night.
They run into a couple good pitching performances for sure.
One 1-0 to Jose.
This is an interesting at bat here. You got Bautista in the box with 2 outs and first base open, and you got a .133 standing on the on deck circle, and you got to be careful with Bautista here. You don't want to let him beat you.
He's 1 for 4 with a home run against Jason Vargas. A 1-1.
Okay, so you're behind the dish and you're thinking that. Are you hoping that Vargas is thinking the same thing, or when do you go out there and talk to him? Or I mean, if you're thinking that way, you're hoping that your pitcher is too, right? Yeah,
I mean, again, this is the stuff you talk about before a ball game, and as he comes up to the plate, you kind of remind your pitcher, hey, let's check the scoreboard. We got 2 outs. Let's be smart here, and yeah, you hope he gets the same message, because it appears as though Vargas is. He's keeping that ball away. He's nibbling on that outside corner and trying to get Bautista to chase. And if he doesn't chase and he loses him, he trots down to first and we go to work on Rivera. Maybe if it's a younger pitcher like Pineda last night, you take a trip out there. Yeah, you absolutely have to gauge the pitchers. But Vargas has been around. He knows this game, and he's thinking the same thing.
3-1 in there for strike. So 2 outs, full count. A run in Escobar. He's at second. Important pitch here in the early going. 1-0 Toronto. 3-2 to Bautista. swings as hard as anybody in baseball. That leg kick, something he's added in the last year or two. He used to be with the Pittsburgh Pirates, played outfield and some third base for them. Do it again at 3-2. Strike three call. Snuck a fastball by him on the inside corner. Bautista's gone. So the Blue Jays, after getting a run and leaving a runner on base.
Today's game is brought to you by Budweiser. This year, Budweiser will donate $100 to Folds of Honor for every home run hit in Major League Baseball. Visit Facebook.com/Budweiser to see how you can help support our nation's heroes. Back upstairs to Dave, Mike, and Dan.
All right, Angie, thank you very much. Here's Chris Jimenez in his second start of the season. Start Sunday in the 6-4 loss to Cleveland. Called up when Adam Moore was put on the DL. He underwent surgery a couple of days yesterday, as a matter of fact. It'll be Jimenez, Ichiro, and Kennedy. 9-1-2 against Kyle Drabek. One hit thus far for the Mariners. Adam Kennedy in the first inning. Base hit to center field.
You know, Mike, you mentioned that some of the more bench player guys getting a chance to get some at bats. Here's a great opportunity for Chris Jimenez too to get to know some of this pitching staff and get a chance to play. And behind the plate, it's the same scenario. You want to get as many repetitions as you can.
Base hit to center field for Jimenez. Got a hanger right in front of him and knew what to do with it. Base hit. Second hit of the day for Seattle.
It's a breaking ball away from him. No stride, just trying to put the ball in play. Comes up with a nice base hit into center field. It'll be interesting to watch him too. He's unique in that he can play the corners and he can play some outfield and do some different things for you.
Absolutely, and he's been swinging a pretty good bat as long as he's been here, and great guy in the clubhouse. He's just a great guy to have around.
Ichiro 3 for 9 in this series. Looks at strike one. What are your impressions of Drabek to this point? This is only the third inning, but what do you see so far?
He's using his fastball pretty effectively. He's running it in and running it away, and he's gotten out of a couple of jams. He's stayed pretty calm and seems to be cruising along pretty well right now.
It looks like one of those guys to me. I think he's 6'1", but he looks like somebody that has a sneaky fastball. He's topped out around 95. He's 93 to 95, and you just, to me, watching him and how easy his motion is, I think the ball probably jumps up on the guys a little bit. So maybe the second or third time through they'll have a little more success.
Bouncing ball to McDonald. It goes to Escobar. Can't turn the double play to get the speedy Ichiro. So Ichiro's aboard with one out. Mariners and our community teaming up to support the relief efforts in Japan. Fans can go online right now, mariners.com/auction, to bid on autographed items, including Ichiro's autographed green opening night jersey. All proceeds benefit the Red Cross Japan relief efforts. So let's join in and work together and help those in need in Japan. One out. Ichiro at first. Adam Kennedy. Drabek has one pickoff already. Got Langer hands. Led off the second with a walk, and then he picked him off at first. far. Ichiro 4 out of 5 in base steal. Wally Bell's calling balls and strikes. Hitters umpire or pitchers umpire?
I think he's a solid umpire. I think you have to put it on the plate for him to call it a strike. He usually doesn't let you expand the zone too much. Every now and then a pitch maybe that's just off. If you have good command, he'll give it to you. Wally's been around for a while. I think he basically calls a pretty even game.
Yeah, I think that's a pretty fair assessment. He's not a guy that developed a reputation one way or the other, but more just a fair umpire, and works really well at the catches. I remember working with Wally, and he's a guy you can talk to, and you can even question pitches, and he's not afraid to chat with you about it.
Line drive to Nix. Ichiro is able to get back.
Adams hit the ball hard a couple of times, had a base hit his first time up. Nice inside out swing. Unfortunately, third baseman is standing right there. Ichiro takes off right away and has to hustle back.
Good example of batting average. The ball is put in play. It's a bullet and it goes right to the third baseman.
We had the hole open with Kennedy up. You could figure he was probably going to try to work him away, and Adams said, hey, I'll take what I can get. He hits a linea, but fortunately it's right at the third baseman.
Bradley with 1 home run, which he hit on Monday night, and he got it left-handed. Allowed to go to his mouth there to get a little better grip. 1-1. Ichiro at first. Pitch to Bradley. Outside. It's like days like this here in Seattle in terms of gripping the baseball.
Keeping your hands warm is really key, and typically before a ball game the umpires will let both benches know that it's okay to go to your mouth, which is why he's able to go to his mouth there on the mound.
2-1.
That was the thing for me with the cold weather, Mike. Just your hands and your feet that got cold, and you need that so much in playing and getting a good feel for the bat and the ball, and when your hands and feet are cold, it can make it for a little bit of a challenge.
And it's difficult for you. I think for me, I'd always have one of those hand warmers in my back pocket, so in between pitches I can cheat a little bit, but that would be tough for you sitting back there having that thing in their back pocket trying to go to it, so it's difficult.
3-2 to Bradley with Ichiro at first. Be on the move. Escobar's top of the third, ground rule double, counting for the only run so far in this ball game. 3-2. Ichiro goes. The pitch. It's in a gap. And that's going to score Ichiro. Nice job by Milton Bradley. Ichiro flying. He's going to score easily as Milton Bradley into second. An RBI double, tying the score at 1-1. Fourth double of the season for Milton Bradley. His 5th run batted in. And that ties him with Langerhans and Saunders for the team lead.
Graybeck stayed away with fastballs to Milton, and he gets one out over the plate. It's a rocket into the gap in left center field. Nice piece of hitting, not trying to pull that ball.
Ichiro scoring easily.
Mike, you can see 2 left-handed approaches right there. They were getting the ball away, and The only difference was the one to Milton was a little bit more up in the zone. He was able to get in the gap. The one to Kennedy was just down a little bit more, and he couldn't get it in the air enough. But both those guys keeping the same approach against Draybeck.
There's Jack Cuss, slide out to left. 3-1 pitch. Runner goes. Swung on, a little dribbler. And they are not going to have a play. An infield hit for Jack Cuss. Who thought we'd be saying that?
Well, you can thank Milton Bradley for that infield hit, because if Milton isn't running on the pitch, I think the third baseman, Nix, has an easy play. As he hits this off, you can see the third baseman going to cover third. And he just hits a little squibber off the end of the bat, a play that Nix would make. No chance for the shortstop, Escobar.
Jack digging hard, and he's in with an infield hit.
Yeah, can the Mariners catch a break?
So the Mariners touching up Draybeck here, tying the game. A chance to take the lead here with Justin Smoke. Justin looks at ball one, his first time up. He was ahead in the count 2-0 and hit one off the end of the bat. It's thrown out by pitcher Kyle Draybeck. They obviously didn't come armed with the copyright read here, but it's a nice piece of apparatus. One and one to Smoke, and there for called strike two. Tracer disagrees. Last couple of nights, Mike, they were getting Smoke on 3-1, 3-2 breaking balls. What do you go here 1-2 with?
Well, it's been the changeup on when he's hitting left-handed. Right-handed, he seems to be picking the off-speed pitches up a little bit better. So they try to go with a fastball away, but I think hitting left-handed, they've gone to more off-speed pitches. Although Draybeck's come with just 4 fastballs to him. You would think after a couple of pitches inside, maybe they'd go back to his changeup at some point.
Counts even at 2 and 2. 2 out, 2 on. Trying to get the lead here. Pitch to Smoke. Swung on. And tag applied by Molina. And Smoke is done. Mariners, though, get a Milton Bradley RBI double. And that ties the game at 1-1.
Take you to Motown. The Rangers sure could have used Josh Hamilton against the Tigers. They go into the 9th tied against the Tigers in our Sterling Savings Bank score, but that's when Brandon Inge gets into one. That's a walk-off home run. Tigers win it 3-2. Now back upstairs to Dave Sims.
The veteran Brandon Inge, good guy, good third baseman. Dave Sims, thank you, Angie, along with Dan Wilson and Mike Blowers. And think about these Texas Rangers, 6 to 8 weeks with no Josh Hamilton. How many guys did you have try to slide head first into home plate, Dan Wilson?
I remember one in particular was Manny Ramirez, and he broke his pinky and missed a little bit of time. And just good things do not happen when you slide head first at home.
Boy, the chance to get really tattooed, chances, the percentages are very high. Then, you know, Hamilton yesterday not real pleased with Dave Anderson, who insisted, you got to go, you got to go on that play yesterday. Nobody was protecting home plate as we look at the former Angel Juan Rivera. And Hamilton, he placed his third base coach under the bus. They didn't want to go. He told me to go. Short pop. Nobody covered home plate. Crazy play. Rivera, Nix, and Aaron Sebia 4, 5, and 6 here in the 4th. 2-1. Rivera grounded out the shortest first at bat. Vargas 4 strikeouts. He's not walked anybody. Got a huge K. Strikes out Bautista looking to end the 3rd inning. Coming in on that line drive is Langerhans for the out. One out in the fourth that'll bring up Jason Nix. Vargas out of Apple Valley, California. Property of the New York Mets, came over a couple of years ago here to the Mariners. Strike one to Nix. College team Vargas was on at Long Beach State with Jared Weaver and Troy Tulowitzki. Two and one. Told there is a verdict in from San Francisco in the Barry Bonds case, and at least one of the counts is a guilty verdict. 3-1 here to Nix. On deck is Aaron Sebia, DHing today. It's their everyday catcher. Two. Vargas 9-12 a year ago, an ERA of 3.78. Strike three. Same pitch he got Bautista on. Stuck that fastball on the inside corner. That's strikeout number 5. 2 down here in the fourth.
Jason doing a really nice job on the inside corner. You get a chance to see him in the bullpen before the game running a little drill with the pitching coach, and sometimes pitchers get to their balance point and have a tendency to drift toward home plate and not get their arm up in time. This is forcing Jason to stay back, catch that ball and keep his balance and then go to the plate, and he's not drifting forward, and should help to handle his control a little bit. And boy, Jason's been right on, and he's really worked that inside corner so well today, and part of that is him staying back, getting that good solid balance position, and then driving to the plate.
5 strikeouts, 3 of them looking. Bautista, Nix, and Aaron Sebia.
Maybe that was part of the issue in his last outing when he struggled, Dan. Just couldn't hit his spots and ended up getting hurt. He's basically in the middle of the plate. Maybe that's something he's been working on in between the 2 starts to straighten that out.
Yeah, usually, you know, a guy will come off of an outing like that looking for something, and either he had a feeling he was doing it on the mound, or after his start, as he looks at videotape, he probably saw his body drifting toward home plate a little bit, and then it's just back to the drawing board. You know, it's all fundamentals, and you get a little tiny drill like that that kind of locks you back in, and boy, he looks great today, and his location is much better.
Missed by much. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Nobody on, 2 outs. On deck hitters Edwin Encarnacion. He's at first base today. 3-2. Down low to Aaron Sebia. First walk issued by Vargas. Drabek's walk just one.
I'm going to say that pink shirt has no chance. There's going to be some mustard and some ketchup.
She wants to hold it herself. No matter how long it takes. Encarnacion flied out the left. Escobar drove in a run, top of the third here for Toronto, and the bottom of the third, Milton Bradley answered. 1-1 game. Bradley with a double. High fly ball, short left, Ryan out, and he'll take it, and that'll do it. Good inning for Vargas. He's got 5 strikeouts, 3 looking today. It's just 1 walk in a 1-1 game.
And by Sterling Savings Bank. Visit sterlingsavingsbank.com. Back up to Dave, Mike, and Dan. That one's ready to walk, I think.
Yeah. Getting some good nourishment, being entertained by some Major League Baseball here. And take a baseball game and a milkshake to go. Langer heads Rodriguez and Ryan 6, 7, and 8 against Kyle Drabeck. Langerhans walked and was picked off at first by Drabeck in his first plate appearance. Well, we're finishing up the second tour against Mr. Drabeck here. One and one. Buck Martinez has had a great career as a player and a manager and a broadcaster. Now the voice of the Jays on TV. Said this kid's so good. He said 2 of the funkiest swings from Mauer and Morneau last time they played Minnesota as they battled against Kyle Drabeck. That's not easy to do. Those are 2 of the best hitters in baseball.
Yeah, those are 2 pretty big names.
2-2. So full count. That symbolizes what the Mariners are going for today, going for a sweep against these Toronto Blue Jays.
Looks like he's getting a little frustrated to me. 60 pitches for him. 30 balls, 30 strikes.
Swing and a miss, and Langerhans is gone. Back-to-back strikeouts now by Drabeck. As a hitter, how do you use that to your advantage? You start seeing a guy looks like he's starting to really get a little hacked at himself.
Well, and looking at the splits, I think that you can afford to be patient, try to get yourself in a good count. And he's throwing guys fastballs. Unfortunate for the Mariners. They've been in good locations, and they've done that a few times in the game today.
Encarnacion with the stab of a bullet off the bat of Luis Rodriguez. Quick 2 outs. He hit it hard. Kennedy lined out hard to third. That was last inning. There's Brendan Ryan, a bounce out third base. No to Brendan. 1 for 3 an evening ago. Run on 3 hits for the Mariners in the third. They left 2. Milton Bradley with RBI double, scoring each run. Ryan's got a 3-1 count, 2 out, nobody on, with Chris Jimenez on deck.
You're right, Mike. As his inning kind of progresses, he's just not comfortable out there. He's He's missing kind of wildly with a lot of his fastballs. He's really just throwing fastballs and just doesn't look comfortable.
3-1. Ryan's aboard. Second walk issued by Drabek. 2-out base runner for the Mariners here in the bottom of the 4th. On Friday, April 22nd, Mariners meet the A's. And all kids 14 and under take home an Earth Day magnet. Thanks to Nikon. It's in celebration of Earth Day. The magnet features Earth-friendly tips for youngsters. For tickets, visit mariners.com. First Earth Day, I believe, was what, 1969 or 70. And I remember how that has grown over the years. Up and in on Jimenez is Molina going out to talk to his right-hander.
I think Jose is sensing the same thing that Mike's talking about. Just getting a little frustrated, getting wild all around the zone, and Jose out there really just to calm him down. He's got 2 outs. Just really needs to attack that strike zone again. Jimenez was able to hit a breaking ball right up the middle the last time up, and so probably looking to throw some heaters to Jimenez here, and Jose just reminding him, hey, let's just find that strike zone.
Who's the easiest and who's the hardest to talk off a ledge? Where you want to hold that for your book? Ryan was leaning. He gets back safely.
I'll tell you, there were times when Randy Johnson was a little unapproachable on the mound. A few times I got about halfway out there and he waved me to go back behind the plate. So I would say he's the hardest.
Time is called. Boy, this is just what Bautista was telling me about before the game. Get a runner on, focus, not the same. Supposedly it had gotten better this year.
That probably comes from the dugout, him holding the ball, don't you think, Danny?
Typically it does. The bench usually calls up the pitch outs and the slide steps and the holds and that kind of thing, and sometimes that can frustrate a pitcher too, though. They're trying to find their rhythm and they're getting stuff from the bench, and it just kind of continues to throw their rhythm off, and he's just having a hard time getting comfortable out there.
Counts 1-1 to Jimenez. '71 pitch. 71 pitches coming up here. This will be first here in the 4th. Strike 3 called. Jimenez caught looking. Box has him a little bit off the plate, but inning is over. 1-1. The Jays and the Mariners. Ballpark here today, the family of 4. It's time for the AT&T trivia question. Here we go. NHL playoffs, they open tonight for the 95th quest to win Lord Stanley's Cup. I picked that baby up. That's impressive. Which team did the Seattle Metropolitans defeat to win the Stanley Cup in 1917? Your choices. The Toronto Maple Leafs, who still have some gorgeous, I love the blue of their sweaters. Beautiful. The Ottawa Senators, the Montreal Canadiens, the Vancouver Millionaires. Text ABC or D to 95323. Stanley Cups, it's not overwhelmingly heavy. It's a little unwieldy with the, it's not real balanced. I had a chance to see it in person a few years ago when the Jersey Devils won their first. There's Ichiro. Retiring. John McDonald, 1 out. Here's some memorabilia for Seattle's hockey team. Look at those sweaters.
Dave, you must have done some hockey or something, because you don't hear that term sweaters. That's a veteran term for,
yes,
for a hockey jersey.
I've been around hockey since it expanded. The league doubled itself back in '67, '68. I used to go see the original 6 all the time. They'd come to Philly. Here's Molina. because I wanted to see Jean Beliveau, Gordie Howe, Bobby Hull, Bobby Orr, Phil Esposito, Normie Ullman. I know my hockey.
You should say that's pretty good. Broad Street Bullies, right?
Now we're talking. Dave the Hammer Schultz.
Oh.
And you were a hockey goalie back in your day in high school, right?
Yeah, that was many years ago, but same philosophy as catching. Keep everything in front of you.
Amen, brother. Keep your head up. Molina hits it hard down the line. Fair ball. Fan does not touch it. And Molina will hold with a single. He's having a day. A single and a double and a run scored. Rodriguez making a dive, can't get it. Jose Molina, Benji and Yadier, his brothers. A family business, catching in the major leagues.
It's unbelievable to have three guys like that, three brothers that do such a great job behind the plate.
Could have had the careers they've had. They've all been around for a long time now.
Jose last year did a good job throwing out would-be base stealers. I believe it was a game against Toronto. He got Crawford a couple of times and he got BJ Upton. Oh, and 2 now to Escobar. Ground rule double in the third. Scored Jose Molina with a Toronto run.
Put your ice skates on anymore?
Only to coach my son, but haven't gone out competitively in a long time.
Nice.
Strike 3 called. So Escobar gone. 6th strikeout for Vargas, the 4th looking. Two down here in the 5th.
So you look at the tracker on those 3 pitches, Mike, and every single one of them is just barely touching that line. But his location is just so much better than it was the last time out, and he's just finding that he's just nibbling, but he's getting the strikes, and that's what makes Jason so effective.
Broken bat up the middle. Ryan will take it. Quick release. Gets the spin. Oh, he didn't get him. I thought he had Patterson. As Diaz says he was safe. Patterson can really motor. I thought Ryan got him.
They have the infield swung around, so it's the shortstop that fields on the second base side. Brendan Ryan gets his throw off in good shape.
Boy, that is close. So now you got to deal with Bautista with 2 on. Struck out swinging, struck out looking. Vargas got him in a 3-2 pitch back in the 3rd, and that ended the inning with Escobar at second base and a run in.
He painted him 3-2 last time up on that inside corner. Just threw a really nice pitch, and Bautista coming out hacking on this pitch right there, that first pitch.
The 0-1. Strike 2 to Bautista, the major league leader in home runs, extra base hits last year, tied for first total bases. What a year. 54 home runs, 124 runs batted in. Vargas in charge here, 0-2. 2 on here in a 1-1 game. The pitch. Foul out of play. As per usual, Vargas has not changed expression at all.
Starts him off with a couple of changeups. Span zone off the plate away.
Good look at the grip of Bautista on that bat. 0-2. 2 on. Pitch up high.
You know, you talk about, Mike, you talk about climbing the ladder up in the zone, but you can climb the ladder away too. And I think Jason's first pitch, he was on the plate with a changeup, and then the next 2 were off the plate. He's trying to get Bautista to reach out there, and he's going to see how far he can go out. He wasted one up high there, but he's got a chance now to either go a little bit further outside, see if he can get him to chase it, or he can try to pop him in again like he did the last time up.
Somebody like Bautista, you're able to get away with that one time where you're a little leery as the game's moving on to try it again, because it doesn't take much of a mistake back on the plate, you know, to pop one in there like that.
Yeah, although you know, you've seen him this at bat, he's really looks like his approach is out over the plate. He's swung at those pitches out over the plate, and seems like maybe he's looking out there again. But you're right, it's just that cat and mouse. You got to make a good pitch.
The 1-2 down low. Another Deuces Wild situation. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 out, 2 on. Vargas needs a big pitch here. 2-2 to Bautista. Down low. He went. Check with Diaz. No. Full count.
So here we are at a 3-2 situation. He stayed away from him. He stayed down in the middle of the plate.
Eric Wedge. Hey, come on, Laz. Where was that?
Well, he's not happy, I think, because of the call at first base. Guys have gone back and looked at the replay a couple of times, and then you have this check swing on top of it. I guarantee Eric Wedge did not want to see this guy come to the plate if Vargas had a chance to get out of the inning. And then he makes a pitch and thinks maybe he is out of it anyways, and now he has to go to this 3-2 count.
Runners take their lead. They take off the pitch. Skied left field. Milton Bradley towards the line, running out of room. He's there, reaches up, makes the catch. Milton Bradley in foul territory in the stands. A huge out for the Mariners and Jason Vargas. The home run champion in baseball, Bautista. They retire him. The fan, what are you doing? Bradley finds room, makes the catch. He must have been a Boy Scout when he was a kid. He came prepared with his blanket. This catch by Milton Bradley. These guys wish they had a blanket or 2 or 3. Ichiro leading off. Followed by Kennedy and Bradley. Milton Bradley, nice play. Ichiro scored the Mariner run in the 3rd, reached on a fielder's choice. And Bradley brought him home with a double. Two and 1. All right, what are we looking for here, boys? If you're going through 3rd time around, this is the start of it here for the Mariners against Drabek.
I think Danny's already said it. 87% fastballs. I don't know what else you would look for. For a fastball, see if we can get something on the plate.
Broken bat looper into center field. Patterson outruns it. 1 out. Well, here's what the fans said. They think it's the Montreal Canadiens. 53%. Google quickly, huh? And on the original cup, they spelled it I-A-N-S instead of I-N-E-S, but it's the Montreal Hockey Club. Canadiens. Seattle tied Montreal in 1919. 2-2-1 when the series was called due to influenza. Nice stroke by Kennedy, swinging the bat really well. He's got 2nd hit today. His second at bat, he lined out hard to third base.
Well, he did what Mike was talking about. He just got that fastball down, middle, away, and just drove it right back where it came from. And that's some good hitting right there. Adams really seeing the ball pretty well.
I think he's had a nice approach too. Draybeck, with all the fastballs he's throwing, the majority of them have been away. He's taking what he can get. You talked about that on when he lined out to third, Dan.
Bradley 1 for 2 with an RBI.
Milton hit the ball hard into the gap, left center field, going the other way again. You saw that first pitch fastball off the plate away to him.
Looks like he does take a little bit off of it when he goes away. It's more like 90, 91, and when he goes into a lefty, it's more like 94, 95. But it's all fastballs.
Ball and a strike here to Milton Bradley. Jason Vargas is getting out of his share of jams today. Two and one. Draybeck today with 3 strikeouts, 2 walks. He's picked the man off at first. And he's given up 5 hits. Two and two. Two to Bradley. Kennedy, not a big lead at first. Swing, and Molina holds on. And Bradley strikes out. Then strikeout number 4 for Draybeck. This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Seattle Mariners. May not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. The accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Seattle Mariners. Like Michael Saunders, he's a big Canuck fan. They take on the defending Stanley Cup champion Blackhawks as the Stanley Cup playoffs open up this evening. Infield hit for Jack Cust last time up, 1 for 2.
Sometimes it's those infield hits or those duck snorts in the outfield that get you going, and hopefully that's going to be the case for Jack.
See him get a nice long ball streak here before long. 1-1.
During this homestand, he's skied a couple of balls out to left field, probably 3 or 4 of them. I mean, he's just missing them. And sometimes it's tough to get that extra grain of wood on the ball, and he's really close.
2 strikes. Same off the plate. 2 balls, 2 strikes. See if he gets a good pitch here. 2-2. Does not. Full count. up the shift now as the second baseman McDonald drops into short right field. Swing everybody over towards the right side against Cust. 3-2. Runner goes. Swing and a miss. Cust is gone. So are the Mariners in the fifth. That's strikeout number 5. They leave a man on. The 1-1 duel continues here at Safeco Field.
Menting in the baseball museum down the third base line, and if you haven't checked this place out, you have to. There's all this cool stuff like the inside of a baseball. What does it look like? Well, come and find out. Also, did you know that Major League Baseballs are made in Costa Rica? You see the different kind of pitches, and then also you can put your hands on a real bat of Jay Buhner's or Ken Griffey Jr.'s, or down the road just a little bit, you can put your hand in one of their gloves.
So many things to do here at Safeco Field. You gotta love it. Dave Sims along with Mike Flowers and Dan Wilson, our Root Sports crew. Pitching duel 1-1. Vargas. Jason Vargas dueling with Kyle Drabeck, Juan Rivera, Jason Nix, JP, Aaron Sebia, 4, 5, and 6 here. The Blue Jays. Mike, were you surprised that this guy Rivera was not held on to by the Angels?
I was.
25 home runs a couple of years ago.
And he's awfully tough against left-handed pitching. It's nice to have a guy like that on your team. He can play the outfield, play some first base. To get him in there against the tough left-handers and maybe even come off your bench late in games.
Pounds this one down to Ryan, who bobbles, boots, throws, still got him. Perseverance paid off by Mr. Ryan. Not pleased with himself, but he got the out. Mariner fans, the Root Sports Facebook and Twitter pages are up and running. We want to connect with you. Find us on Facebook at Root Sports NW and follow us on Twitter at Root Sports _NW. Brad Adams family at the ball game. Getaway day here. Jason Nix, strike one. Inside corner on Nix. He's 1 for 2 today. Single to left. And a strikeout looking.
Jason's done such a nice job of moving the ball around and changing speeds, and got Nix out in front, away in the first pitch, and then just throws that heater in on the second pitch.
Last time out, as you know, Vargas, he lasted just 3 1/3, 9 hits, 7 runs, all earned. Last Friday night, a 12-3 Cleveland win here at Safeco Field. Market contrast here. He's in the 6th. Giving up a run on 5 hits. Broken bat. Who's going to get their first at bat of the ball? Ryan, back foot. Speedy effort down the line by Nix. Just gets him.
Brendan comes in, gets rid of it quickly. Nix, awfully close play again. As Diaz, the first base umpire, has had a couple tough calls in this game.
Ryan, according to the first 2 outs here. Here's Aaron Sebia. Strikeout looking at a walk. He's doing a little FaceTime with his iPhone to his family. His sister has 6 kids. There's Ryan, chance for the trifecta. Got it. All 3 assists by Brendan Ryan, aiding and abetting the cause of the Mariners and Jason Vargas in this 1-1 game.
Today's Tracer Technology is brought to you by the Emerald Queen Casino, the entertainment capital of the Northwest.
Drabek and Vargas in a 1-1 duel. Who's going to break first here in the Mariners 6th? It's Smoke, Langerhans, and Rodriguez 5, 6, and 7. Smoke 0 for 2. Tap back to the pitcher and a strikeout.
That was a rare breaking ball right there to start off Justin.
1-1. Balls, 1 strike to Smoke. 0 for 4 career against Kyle Drabek. Three and 1. Both runs in the 3rd inning, top half. Miguel Escobar, the shortstop for the Jays, ground rule double RBI, and then Milton Bradley answered with an RBI double of his own. Blue Jays will be flying across the country. Next stop, Boston. Shot foul. So Toronto, this road trip started in Anaheim to Seattle to Boston to play 4 games. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. They'll play in that Patriot Day game. Boston. That's also the day of the Boston Marathon. A drive deep to left. Going back, Rivera at the track. Wall gone. Home run. Justin Smoke. He goes the other way, and the Mariners have a 2-1 lead. We saw him go opposite field earlier in the series, driving in a couple of runs, and he got the barrel to the ball really well here. Home run. Number 1 on the season and his 5th RBI.
And it looks like a nice adjustment by Justin on the 3-1 pitch. He gets a fastball away, rolls over on it, foul. 3-2 rolls over on another one. This one's up and away and drives it out into the bullpen to the opposite field. Nice adjustment by Justin Smoke.
Mariners' 7th home run of this early season in game number 12.
Chris Chambliss likes it.
I tell you, when you elevate that ball, it makes it so much easier on the hitter. And boy, Justin made him pay for that. All those fastballs we've been talking about, and he's been staying primarily down in the zone with it, but that one just leaked up in the zone on him. And Justin put a really nice swing on it. Drove that ball over the bullpen protector there, the carport in the bullpen, and it's a pretty good little shot right there.
Especially with today, probably 50 degrees. Cool night or cool afternoon.
It makes a great defensive play last night. Game changer at a base hit. Today finally goes yard here in game number 12. His first home run. Hopefully the first of many. Langerhans takes a strike. 2-1. Low. Nice play by Jose Molina. 47 degrees, Mike. So you got to really hit it to get out of here. 3-1. Full count now to Langerhans, who's walked and struck out. Langerhans, he's aboard. Second time via the walk for each home run. hit by a Mariner player. Alaska Airlines donates 10,000 miles to our Make-A-Wish Home Runs for Wishes program. You can donate your own miles too. Make a wish at alaskaair.com. Third walk issued by Drabek. 2 to Langerhans. Luis Rodriguez. Lined out hard to the first baseman Encarnacion last time.
Drabek's faced a lot of lefties today, Mike, in that Mariner lineup, but really the guys, the lefties that have had success have gone the other way with him. And that seems to be the approach if you're a left-handed hitter.
Bunt, a good one. Drabek throws to Encarnacion. Sacrifice executed by Luis Rodriguez.
Oh, I think that you're right. You look at Adam Kennedy staying up the middle the other way. He's hit the ball hard 3 times. The RBI by Milton Bradley, hit the ball in the opposite field into the gap, and then the home run by Smoke. I think the only lefty that's pulled the ball and hit it hard has been Rodriguez when he lined out to first. Other than that, the guys that have hit the ball hard have had to go the other way with it.
Brendan Ryan 0 for 1 with a walk today. Top half of this inning. Had all 3 assists. Chance to pick up a run. Straight away, not too deep here for Ryan. South Toronto placement. Another swing and a miss. 0-2. Way outside for ball 1. Ball and 2 strikes. Chris Jimenez on deck. Leadoff home run by Smoke and the Mariners. The 2-1 lead, trying to get some more. That's that play. So Frazier on the right, and you get Jojo Reyes, the left-hander. All in 2 strikes.
Mike, we talked about all the fastballs and his location not being what it probably what he wants it to be, but that's also caused him to be very inefficient with his pitch count. He's getting up close to 110 at this point. And sure why he was getting frustrated earlier in the game. He just couldn't find it and was throwing a lot of pitches.
2-2. This one's playable for Encarnacion. 2 outs.
I think I'll give him some credit on it, though. Even though he's struggled with his command, I think when he's missed, he's been missing off the plate away. He refuses to give in and throw many pitches in the middle of the plate. And you're right, it has cost him on his pitch count, but he's just, I think he knows it's a tight ball game. He just refuses to make a mistake in the middle of the plate. We've seen that a lot. I think it's easier for him to pick up his strikes to the lefty because, as you mentioned earlier, he can take a little bit off and run it off the outside corner. For the righties, I think it's been tough for him to get out there because we've seen pitches miss badly when the right-handed hitters have been up there.
2 outs. Here's Chris Jimenez. Chance to pick up a valuable RBI with 2 outs. Chris today is singled to center and struck out looking.
Chris got that fastball first pitch with that runner on second base and put a good swing on it, followed it straight back. Trying to be aggressive here in an RBI situation. Molina out. My guess is that they're going over signs again. Langerhans has been out there a little bit. Maybe appears as though he's giving the signs to Jimenez, but to make sure that they're on the same page too as far as the game plan is concerned. You got Ichiro on deck, and
as a catcher, Dan, with everything in front of you, that's one of the things you're keeping an eye on and see if that guy's tipping at second base, right?
Yeah, as you're giving the signs, you're looking right at that runner.
Foul. 2.
Looking for anything that he might be doing that might be given either location or the pitch itself. And
so he might be, in that case, be touching, he might a shoulder, a belt, or.
Yeah, there's all kinds of little systems that you can come up with. Which foot you lead with on your lead, a tip of the cap, whatever the case may be. But you're looking for anything that you can notice. And in these tight ball games, this kind of an at bat, those things loom very large.
0-2 to Jimenez. Just outside. Jamie Wright warming up. Two out. RBIs are tremendously important. Let's see if Jimenez can cash in here. He's worked the full count.
The left-hander ready in the bullpen for the Jays. This next pitch will be 114 for Draybeck. This is his last hitter, I would guess.
Chinsky appears to be at the ready. Farrell watching his right-hander struggle. First 2 games, Draybeck went 101 and 103 in his pitch count. Here's a 3-2, and he loses Jimenez going to third. A very alert Ryan Langerhans. Fourth walk given up by Draybeck, and here comes John Farrell to come get him. So Mariners with 2 outs, a run in, runners at the corners, trying to build on this situation, a 2-1 lead.
We're at the Northwest Sports Desk, but we're going to take you elsewhere. A's taking on the Chicago White Sox in the 10th inning, coming back all the way down 3 to take the lead from a Coco Crisp single to center field. That scores Connor Jackson, and Oakland goes on to win it in extra innings 7-4. Dave, back upstairs to you.
All right, Nancy, thank you very much. Opportunity here, a good one for the Mariners with 2 outs, runners at the corners. Let's see what Ichiro can do against veteran left-hander Mark Chinsky. Then you ever been a part of a game like the other night when the Mariners, they were down 7-0, they come back and win the game. But the thing that, one of the many elements that trips me out here is the 3 bases loaded walks that bring in 3 runs. 3 consecutive walks with the bases juiced.
Yeah, you know, Dave, you expect to see that on the Sandlot. You don't expect to see that at a big league ballpark, and when that happens, it's pretty rare. But you know, again, it can be contagious, just like offense is contagious. Sometimes those things that take a mind of their own, and it makes it awfully hard for these guys to throw a strike at some time. But you shake your head at 3 walks, three runs.
First pitch to Ichiro. Strike 1. I was talking to Aaron Seavey after that game. He was, dude, I tried to slow him down. I tried to speed him up. But nothing. I said, just throw the ball down the middle of the plate. Because Chinsky's ball moves a lot. He's trying to paint course. Dude, throw it right down the middle. It'll take its natural move. And it still costs him.
Yeah, you know, you do what you can. You do try to find something as a catcher to sort of help to lock their radar back in, and sometimes it's just setting up right behind the middle of the plate and and saying, here, throw it right over, but sometimes that doesn't even work.
Good numbers for Ichiro against Hutchinson. Nice ball for a strike. Hands and Jimenez. Third and first, respectively, 1 and 2 for Ichiro. 2-2. Mariner lead. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 on. Pitch. He's got a piece of it. Molina takes his time and throws Ichiro out. That'll do it. They do get the home run by Smoke to lead off the 6th. And the Mariners have a 2-1 lead. Doing more in defense, and how about the last inning by Brendan Ryan? Bobbled it, and luckily it was Juan Rivera running. He was not pleased with himself. And then a broken bat. Ball went a little bit farther than the bat. Throws off balance to get Jason Nix. And then a nice backhand. That thing really skidded. Strong throw to get Aaron Sebia. So a record held by how many, Dan? Millions? Thousands?
There's a lot of them with that record.
Nice job. And how about Justin Smoke on a 3-2 pitch, goes opposite field for his first home run. And the Mariners have a 2-1 lead. Encarnacion, McDonald, and Molina, bottom third of the order against Jason Vargas. Vargas today has struck out 6, walked 1. Billy Rennie gave up in the 3rd inning with 1 out. Ground rule double to the shortstop Yunel Escobar. Scored Jose Molina, who had a 1-out double. Two balls and 1 strike. Check swing. Kennedy takes his time. And throws out Encarnacion. Right at the century mark here for Vargas in the 7th.
Really, the only inning he had where it was stressed out a little bit was in the 3rd, where he threw 28 pitches.
Books closed on Kyle Drabek, 5 2/3, 6 hits, 2 runs, both earned, 4 walks, 5 strikeouts, a wild pitch, and a home run. 114 pitches, 59 for strikes. McDonald's 0 for 2.
But Dave, we got Jason at 101 pitches, but he's still just painting the corners, keeping the ball away from the middle of the plate, keeping their hitters off stride. We got that off balance little half swing, the last hitter, and just seems to be in pretty good command even at the century mark.
Contrast for Toronto after seeing Pineda 98-99 yesterday. Good change of speed right there. 1 and 2.
And to your point, Dan, we also talked about him having to work ahead so he could use his changeup, the pitch he just threw. And out of the 26 batters that have come up, he's thrown 20 first pitch strikes. So he's done a nice job turning things around from his last outing.
Count evens at 2. Vargas, he has retired the last 5 men that he's faced. Strike 3 called. Vargas, his 7th strikeout. And that is the 5th looking.
Looking at Trace, you see all those pitches away, and then bang, pops an 89-mile-an-hour fastball right on the inside corner. Knee high. Not much you can do with that.
Root for the home team. Nice applause from the skipper. And attaboy. And they're going to go to the bullpen, which has been outstanding. Here comes Jamie Wright. Back performances, we take a look at our Banner Bank building to the future. After getting pounded by Cleveland, this is a great effort.
Well, we talked about it. Did a nice job of pitching ahead, expanding the strike zone. The Jays a very aggressive club, and that's why his changeup was such a good pitch for him. And then when he needed to, he could just pop one inside to get a strikeout.
7 strikeouts on the afternoon, 5 of them looking. And a couple of big ones getting Bautista, once in the first, once in the third. Good line.
105 pitches, 7 strikeouts, key, 1 walk. Nice outing, nice bounce back outing for Jason Vargas.
Season high 7 Ks. Jamie Wright, part of the bullpen that has been fabulous here in the early going through the first 11 games. This will be game number 5 for Jamie. Jose Molina fouls one off. How about what the bullpen's done to this point?
That's good work in the last 3 games. 9 2/3 innings, just 3 hits, a couple of walks, and 10 strikeouts.
Molina's 1 for 2 against Jamie Wright. Jamie's been on fire since opening day in the spring. Very effective.
I tell you guys that Vargas to me really impressed me. Stayed out of the middle of the plate all day today and just lived on the corners and made it really difficult for these hitters to get comfortable at all. And that's just a great outing, especially coming off the one he came off of. And whatever they worked on during the week, whether it was staying back or whatever it was, really seemed to be a good key for him because his control was right where it needed to be this week.
He retired the last 6 men that he faced. 7 of the last 8. One and 2 to Molina. Jose must clearly be dominant right-eyed to be faced full facing the pitcher with this batting stance. And a big strikeout by Jamie Wright. Retires Molina and the Jays here in the 7th. A 2-1 Mariners lead.
It is going to be an electric atmosphere this Sunday in the Rose City, folks, when the Portland Timbers take on FC Dallas in Major League Soccer competition. Catch all the action live beginning at 3 o'clock only on Root Sports. And Dave Sim, meantime, the Portland Timbers will play their first home match in MLS history tomorrow against Chicago.
I like the passion of those fans. We saw some of the Seattle Sounders fans in San Francisco last week. Adam Kennedy's had a good day. Hit the ball hard 3 times. He's got 2 singles to center.
He's had such a great approach at the plate today, up the middle and away, like Mike was talking about, and that should really help him here too, facing the lefty.
Chitsky came on to get the final out of the 6th inning. Chris Ray is warming up for the Mariners. Encarnacion gets over. Zipchinski does his job. 1 out.
Well, there's a case right there, Dave, where Zipchinski watching the ball game out in the bullpen, watches Kennedy's approach, knows he might face him later in the ball game, and then just eats him up inside with a couple of good hard fastballs and got the roll over to first base there. But you know, a lot of guys you can learn a lot by just watching this game, and there's a guy right there who did it pretty well.
Milton Bradley will swing the bat right-handed for the first time. He's 0 for 3, make that 1 for 3, beg your pardon. Reached on an error, RBI double and a strikeout. Milton swinging the bat pretty well, right-handed. 304, 7 for 23. Right now the difference is Justin Smoke leadoff homer in the 6th. 2-1 Seattle. Short right field for Bautista. 2 down. And when you're traveling outside the Northwest this season, take the Mariners with you wherever you go. Subscribe to MLB.tv today. See every Mariners game live or on demand on your computer or your favorite device. Visit Mariners.com. Get your order in. Get more details. MLB.tv. Baseball everywhere. Jack Cust. Breaking balls over for a strike, 101. Chinsky was in that 8th inning when the Mariners scored 5 times on Monday night. And a delirious 8-7 come from behind victory. 1-2. They've got the shift on for Big Jack. 1-2. Strike 3 called. Cust strikes out for the 2nd time today. Zipchinski. Nary a whimper from the Mariners in the 7th to the 8th. We go in a 2-1 Seattle lead. Mariners baseball on Root Sports is brought to you by Jack in a Box. Right now, get the All-American Jack combo with fries and a drink for only $4.99 plus tax. By AT&T and by Budweiser, official beer of the first inning. 3 times they're on deck. Grab some Buds. Great job out there in the concourse. 2-1 Mariner lead. Dave Sims and Wilson. Mike Flowers on hand here as we begin the 8th inning. 3rd pitcher this afternoon for the Mariners. It's going to be Chris Ray. Jamie Wright came in through a 1/3 of an inning. Got a strikeout for his work. And Chris Ray, this begin game number 5 for him. Last night, popped up Bautista. Ran into Chris and Smoke. Clubhouse, dude, drop the ball. Didn't you hear me say drop the ball? It all worked out for the Mariners, let me tell you. Top of the order against Ray. Escobar, Patterson, and Bautista. 1 for 3 on the ledger for Escobar. Back up the middle, slow roller, finds a hole. Nobody covering second. That's a base hit. Just enough on it. Well,
I guess pitch right there looked like it jammed him a little bit, but he was just able to stay inside of it enough to get it right up the middle, and Ryan gave it a nice diving attempt, but Brendan just wasn't able to come up with it, and don't think he would have gotten him at first anyway.
We're also thankful that Ryan and Kennedy did not collide. Corey Patterson's been swinging a hot bat. Bunt, though, is in order. It's 2-1 game. In at third is Rodriguez. Shows bunt. Takes ball 1. Patterson 1 for 3 tonight. This afternoon, 2 for 4 last evening. 2 for 5 with a 2-run homer on Monday night. Gets the bunt down. They let it go foul. It dies in the grass. Base hit. So now the tying and lead runs are on base now for Toronto. And here comes Bautista.
And this is just a perfect bunt. You take a look at Patterson. We talked about his speed. He flies down the line. Once the pitcher doesn't get to it, Justin has to make a decision right away. I doubt that he's been able to pick that up, turn around, and make a throw to get Patterson at first. The only option he had is to see if it would go foul. If he catches the cut, it may, but when it stays on the grass, there's no way to get him. It's a base hit. Nice bunt by Patterson.
Corey Patterson's a guy with all the tools, Mike. He can run. He's got power, but he can also do that to you right there. He's got such good bat control. He can just put the ball where he wants it. And we all knew he was bunting, but boy, he put it in a perfect spot.
Here's Bautista, 1 for 3 against Ray. It is a long ball. Here's strike 1. Bautista struck out swinging, looking, and fouled out a nice play by Milton Bradley to end the 5th inning with a couple of men on. Side 1-1. A little different numbers out there with Chris Ray. Quicker than Vargas. One and one. He moves Bautista off the plate here.
Vargas had a lot of success with Bautista earlier in the game inside, but that's a different pitch right there altogether. That was a get off the outside part of the plate. This plate is mine.
2-1 pitch. Hit the deep left. Going back Bradley. He's going to watch it. Leave the yard. A 3-run homer by Jose Bautista. And the Jays lead it 4-2. And you can sort of feel that Bautista at some point might uncork given the at-bats he's had against Vargas. And he went up there and swinging hard. Left the yard. His 3rd home run, his 5th RBI.
Take a look at it. Looks like it's a slider, and he just leaves it middle in. That pitch is middle. It's a mistake on that slider after going up and in. Setting it up for the slider, you still have to get it out there. He wasn't able to do it, and Bautista makes him pay a price for it.
2nd career home run against Ray for Bautista's. Travis Snyder pinch hits now.
You can see Jimenez tried to set up outside, and his glove had to come back over the middle of the plate.
It's a pop-up. Jimenez makes the play for the first out. Looking ahead in the Mariners home 8th. Smoke, Langerhans, and Rodriguez. 4-2 now, Toronto. Jose Bautista led the major leagues in home runs a year ago. Luki warming up. This is Jason next. He drives on the left. Milton has to retreat again. Not going to get this off the base of the wall. So a double for Nix as they are touching up Chris Ray here in the 8th inning. 1-0 count. The second hit this afternoon. Monday, April 18th, Mariners says the Tigers. Following the game, 5,000 fans receive a 9-quart bag of Safeco Field soil. They leave the ballpark. It's courtesy of Cedar Grove Composting. Safeco Field soil, it's great for gardening and was made from compostable materials. For your tickets to the April 18th game, go to mariners.com. Hitters JP Arancibia. So Bautista with a big fly here this afternoon. His first of the series. Mariners got to come from behind again against his Toronto ball club. By Jimenez. 1-1.
It's a nice block right there, Dave, trying to go down and away with that pitch, and Chris was right there to the task, keep that runner at second base rather than him getting over to third base with 1 out.
Eric Wedge, a catcher in his days. Eric Jimenez's work. 1-1. Runner goes. Throw down to third is not in time. Stolen base by Nix. Second stolen base for Nix this season. He's got it in there. 2-1. Arancibia. Infield in close. Fastball for strike. 2-2. Able to check it. Bell. That was a ball.
Good looking pitch from Chris. The ball down and away from I say go back to it again.
3-2. And at the Kennedy, he holds the runner. 2 outs.
Big out. When you're limited in the amount of plate appearances you have left, that's a big run out there. You want to leave them there.
4-2 ball game. A 3-run homer by Jose Bautista. Here's Edwin Encarnacion. He's 0 for 3. That'll get fouled. Encarnacion 0 for 2 against Chris Ray. Beat him with a fastball. 0-2.
Nice hard fastball at the letters there, Mike. He just couldn't get on top of it, couldn't catch up to it, and sets up a nice 2-strike pitch and go down and away with that slider. Climb the ladder a little higher inside.
Well, it looked like when he took a hack at that first pitch, it was up and in. Why not go a little bit higher? See if you can keep them in the chase. You can take a look at the pitches. Last pitch a little bit too far outside.
The 1-2. Hit hard by Rodriguez. Base hit down in the corner. Run scores. It's 5-2 Toronto. As Encarnacion drives in a run. His first hit of the day. And his fourth RBI. And they have hit Chris Ray hard. And here comes Eric Wedge. I mean, they have hit him really hard. RBI double by Encarnacion extends the lead to 5-2. No chance for Rodriguez. Back with more after this. Out here for you, Dan. Josh Lukey got his first big league win a couple of nights ago.
See the numbers for Josh. Just 3 2/3 innings pitched for him. 5 strikeouts. Bonus average is 231.
Boys, Chris Ray didn't have it. You have those kind of days.
He centered a couple of pitches and they were hit hard. We saw that from the Blue Jays in the first couple of games. And get pitches out over the plate. They're very aggressive. Doesn't take but a mistake or two, and it just wasn't his day.
There's 7 men. And he's given up 4 runs on 5 hits. The runner at second, Encarnacion, that belongs to Ray as well. Second baseman John McDonald. Wilkie's got to shut the door. 5-2. Mariners have the home 8th and 9th. Try to get back in this. And 2-0, beg your pardon. Reading backwards is reading one other thing. Josh Lukey, young man out of Covington, Kentucky. Teamed in the Cliff Lee trade with Justin Smoke.
Had a chance to see Josh throw in spring training, Dave, and he threw very well down in Arizona. And boy, the one thing that stuck out to me was, as a hitter, he's got a funky little hitch toward it at the top of his delivery that, as a hitter, would make me it would make things difficult. And he looks like he's going to be a good one. He's got good stuff.
Pours it a fastball. 3-1. Jose Molina, you saw him. He's on deck. He's had a fine day. 2 for 3. Donald's 0 for 3. Toronto catcher. Walked in. Runners at first and second. 2 outs. 9th man to the plate. Temperatures in the mid-40s here in Seattle. Roof's been extended all ball game. 48 degrees at first pitch back at 12:40. And it is raining, pouring in fact. And we saw that weather system at the very beginning. If you look at the sign from I-5 North. Sitting on top of Seattle, and appears to have brought some friends too. Ninth man here in the 8th inning. Encarnacion, he's at second. McDonald at first. Wilkie, the 4th Mariner pitcher today. I feel badly for Jason Vargas, who left the game with the lead.
Mike, looks like Molina's been taking some hitting lessons from Buhner with this open stance to closed.
It looks a lot like him, doesn't it? Yeah. Even with that little bat waggle that he has going on. In the Safeco Field and found some tape.
Yeah, he's sporting a nice little hat there. Enjoying his Mariner baseball. Well stroked center field. Giving chase is Langerhans. Can't get it. 2 more runs are going to score. Encarnacion and McDonald. As Jose Molina with a 2-run double. A 3-hit day. It's now 7-2 Toronto.
Molina gets a 2-1 pitch, loads up and lets it fly right in the middle of the play. You can see it right there from the tracer. Ryan tries to get back and it's just out of his reach. No doubt one of the things that we're talking about with Josh and his stuff, what we've seen from him here early, it's real early. He's just pitched in a few games, but like most young pitchers, especially power pitchers, those walks are going to get to you. Working ahead in counts will certainly help him. I mean, he's been able to do that. You see some really bad swings because of the stuff that he has, but when you start falling behind and you have to come to these hitters and throw pitches like that last one in the middle of the plate, I don't care how hard you throw, you're going to get hit eventually.
Absolutely, and you know, I think we saw a little bit of that with Pineda in spring training too, where he was forced to throw the ball right down the middle of the plate, and even at 98 they could catch up to it. But you're right, you've got to be able to find ways to get ahead, and if you can't do that and you got to center a lot of pitches, these veteran hitters, guys like Molina who've been around, they're sitting there waiting for it.
What a day for Molina. 3 for 4, 2 doubles, 2 runs batted in, and a run scored. As the Jays have now batted around. Line drive right field. Etrell won't be able to get it. Molina, they'll hold him. Speed is not a family trademark. They can hit. So Escobar with his 2nd hit here in the 8th inning. His 3rd hit of the day.
Carl Willis, the pitching coach, make a trip out to the mound. That's tough. Josh pitched well in spring training, makes the big league club, but this is his first time through it. It's not unusual to see a little bit of inconsistency from the younger guys that haven't been out there before. You get with an aggressive swinging club like the Jays again, you just have to work ahead.
Starting today, Toronto 7th in home runs, 5th in batting. th hitter to the plate here in the 8th inning. Corey Patterson laid down a bunt that died on the grass for a base hit. Scored in front of Bautista in that 3-run homer. Desperate for an out here. One. 6-run inning here for Toronto. 2-1. So right, fellas, about location. Talked about Lukey a couple of nights ago. Was concerned about his velocity. It's all about hitting spots. 2-1.
Well, I think what he'll find is with the stuff that he has, it's easier to center a pitch early in the count as opposed to when you get to 2-0, 3-1. You center that same pitch and guys are going to be much more aggressive with it. It's a tough game and it's a tough league, and you know, it's just one of those things. Sometimes you have to take some lumps and learn your lesson. Nice pitch right there.
Pulled a string on Patterson and strikes him out, but the Jays send 11 men to the plate. 6 runs, 7 hits, no errors. They leave a man. They've broken it wide open at 7-2. Saw him get on the board with his first home run. He went opposite field. That led off the 6th inning. That gave the Mariners a 2-1 lead. They would eventually leave 2 men on in that 6th inning. Then he moved to the 8th inning, and it was all Toronto as they sent 11 men to the plate, 6 runs on 7 hits. Now lead 7-2. Smoke, Langerhans, and Rodriguez. We're in the 8th. Right now, Zipchinski came on to get the final out of the 6th inning. He's the Toronto pitcher of record. You're right, Mike. Cruel game. You get Vargas 6 2/3, a 5-hit, 1-run ball. Season high 7 strikeouts, and he was in line to get a win, and he'll get a no decision today.
The other thing about it too is the bullpen, as we had mentioned, was on a nice run. 16 2/3 innings that they pitched and not giving up anything. You see Tom Wilhelmsen getting loose now. That's not going to be the case every day. It's just not that easy. These guys are going to play a lot of tight games. Not much room for error.
3-1. Mariners 2 runs on 6 hits. Big John Roush. We're talking 6'10". About 265. Smoke walks in a 3-1 pitch.
The other night it started innocently enough, didn't it?
Sure did. Who knew? Bautista, he's still shell-shocked over losing that game. He's sitting there, he said, I'm out here in right field looking at this. We're going to lose this game? Look at this game 7-0.
Late.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, all the guys I talked to in the clubhouse over there in Toronto, that vacant look in their eyes when they start talking about that game 2 nights ago. 7-2. Right now, Blue Jays. Foul ball. Langerhans a walk, a strikeout, and a walk. Picked off at first base after he led off the inning with a bases on balls. Picked off by Kyle Drabeck, the starter. He's off the hook. He went 5 2/3. 6 hits, 2 runs, both earned, 4 walks, and 5 strikeouts. Right to the second baseman, McDonald, who bobbles. They do get the lead runner. One out. Bring up Luis Rodriguez playing at third. Mariners hope to have Sean Figgins back for tomorrow. He's got that thumb injury from a couple of nights ago. In his stead, Rodriguez today is fly to left. Hit a hard liner to Encarnacion at first base and laid down a perfect sacrifice. One from Zipchinski. Zipchinski out of Yorba Linda, California. Chopper down to first baseman Encarnacion. He'll take it. Second out, moving up is Langerhans. So Zipchinski right now, he's the pitcher of record. The young man from Yorba Linda, California, birthplace of Richard Nixon, will give way to John Roush with 2 outs here in the 8th inning. A 7-2 Blue Jay lead. And get updates on when to watch your favorite teams. Stay informed on the biggest events in Northwest sports and receive exclusive offers and giveaways. Just text FAN to 95323. Get in on all the action. Grandmas and grandpas came out with the blankets, appropriately attired. That's veteran fanship there. 6'10", 251-pound John Roush out of Louisville, Kentucky. 32-year-old right-hander. Veteran of the wars. Been with the White Sox, the Nats, D-backs, and most recently Minnesota. And he's greeted by a line drive into the gap off the bat of Brendan Ryan. And that'll score Langerhans at 7-3. Brendan Ryan with his first hit today. 1 for 3 with a walk. Picks up an RBI, his third.
Brendan wasn't wasting any time. Saw one he liked and said, I'll get the base hit and the RBI, thank you. Get the Mariners one step closer.
Here's Chris Jimenez. '21 saves at Minnesota last year for Roush. It's a career best. Previous high was 17 for the '08 Nationals. Appeared in 59 games.
As you mentioned, at 6'10", big guy. He really doesn't throw that hard. He's going to be right around 90, 89, 90 with his fastball.
I'll tell you this, he's on the all-tattoo team. He's got one going up the base of his neck, all up and down his arms, and the intense glare. Hit hard, but right to Nix. Throws to McDonald for the force. That'll do it. Mariners do pick up a run, an RBI by Brendan Ryan at 7-3 Toronto. Toronto as we begin the top of the 9th inning. 11 men came to the plate for the Jays in the 8th, and here's Tom Wilhelmsen taking over the mound for the Mariners. He is the 5th pitcher this afternoon. Vargas right, Ray, Lukey, and now Tom.
And what we've seen from Tom so far is an above average fastball. It'll be 95, 96 miles an hour, and I think one of the best curveballs I've seen this year. It's just a matter of commanding it. Yes, that's a great breaking pitch that he throws.
Well, again, it's all about location and being able to throw it for strikes, and if he can do that, that's when he's going to have his success. You got to have something to keep the hitters off of your fastball, and that's what we saw with Pineda last night. He was able to keep them off the fastball with some breaking balls, and then that 98 or 95 in Wilhelmsen's case looks a lot harder.
Well, everything you guys just said, he's got to put it into practice against Jose Bautista. Bautista last time up, 2-1 pitch against Chris Ray, 3-run homer. His third, and it ran his RBI total of 5. Slicing back to Ichiro. Now, and a big one too. There's Travis Snyder, his second time up. He He's thrilled to be back home. Kirkland, Washington born, Linwood, Washington, where he lives. He's going to stick around. A lot of family and friends here. Last 3 days, of course. Going to stay here a few extra hours and fly in on his own to Boston. Solid base hit. That'll get the gap. Cut off by Langerhans. Won a state title with Jackson High School. Travis Snyder coming off a career best last year, 255, 14 homers and 32 runs batted in. A couple of years ago with Jackson. There's Jason Nix. Double to the base of the left center field wall his last time up. Was 2-4 with a run scored. Wilhelmsen, long look. So he gets ready to face Nix.
Mike, you talked about location, and so far it looks like Wilhelmsen's been up in the zone a little bit. That pitch to Snyder was the same type of pitch that Smoke hit out in the left field bullpen. You're going to be up in the zone. You're going to take some lumps. You got to keep that ball down and see if you can make an adjustment.
1-0 to Nix. Back safely as Snyder.
You see these younger guys, how much of it do you think is confidence and how much is mechanics with them? Because they're just so inconsistent. One time they're lights out, and the next time they can't find it.
You know, it's just being young, I think, and being inexperienced. You just don't know.
Snyder goes, got a great jump, throwing to center field. Snyder will hold. Third stolen base for Snyder. Nix has a stolen base to his credit today. It was like about 2 or 3 different games today. Drabek was laboring. He had an early lead. Then Vargas had a 2-1 lead. Then the Jays sent 11 men to the plate in the 8th. Scored 6 times. Right now the Mariners on the short end 7-3. They've been out hit 13-7. Swing and a miss. Blew him away. Fastball. 2 outs. Does have a lively arm.
Pretty good pitch right there, Mike. Down and in. It looked like a little sinker, and boy, Nix had no chance on that pitch.
The breaking ball before. I think Nix was upset about the call. I think maybe he thought it was inside.
Here's the DH, Pierre and Sebia. 2 outs. Broken bat, foul ball.
Good movement on that sinker. You go to swing. By the time it reaches your bat, it's a lot further inside than it was when you started your swing, and take a lot of bats with you.
Mariners will have the top of the order coming up in the bottom of the 9th inning. 1 strike. Don't see many stories like this young man being out of baseball as long as he was at this level, at the professional level, and be able to come back and make the ball club. Good story for him.
I think it's amazing that you can lay off for that long and still have a good fastball.
Yeah. I don't know why he's concerned about Snyder. 7-3 ball game, 1-1. Count with 2 outs. Aaron Sebia, a good hitter. Two.
5 years out of the game, keep that fastball and that nasty breaking ball too.
One-two to Aaron Sebia. Breaking ball, he fouls it away. Don't forget the Mariners be on the air at 5:10 Pacific time tomorrow. Doug Fister against Kansas City's Bruce Chen. Friday same time, Eric Bedard against Sean O'Sullivan. Saturday, Felix Hernandez against Luke Hochevar, and then Michael Pineda Sunday against Jeff Francis. Mariners' only trip to Kansas City. One-two, finds a hole. Snyder can run. Bradley charges, he'll have no play. Aaron Sebia drives in the 8th run. 8-3 Toronto for Aaron Sebia, his 6th RBI, his first hit today.
Looks like Tom was able to get in on him a little bit. Didn't blister it through the hole, but he found a hole on the left side.
It looked like he just stayed inside of it just enough to get it far enough to the barrel where it didn't break the bat, but he got it through the infield.
Encarnacion, a rocket double his last time up. He's 1 for 4 with the run batted in. Look out, look out. We got a guy in his lap. Doesn't appear to be any big damage, but you talk about lucky. Boy. One and one, Encarnacion. And it's a Jays fan. How about that? 1-1. Good dig by Jimenez. It's a gamer, so they're going to make a switch. This guy's a Jays fan. He said, I come to a ball game and get a bat. You kidding me? Keeping this. 2-1. Way upstairs. So it was worth it after all. Looks like to take a hit on that left hand. 3-1. Aggressive, free swinging ball club, the Toronto Blue Jays. My goodness, 257 home runs last year to lead the majors. Hope it didn't do any damage to her diamond.
Yeah, looks like she's showing it right there on her ring finger.
3-2 pitch. Runner goes. And down low for ball 4. Wilhelmsen struggling. And here comes Carl Willis. Pretty good start. He got Bautista to fly out. Gave up a base hit to Snyder. Struck out Nix. RBI for Aaron Sebia. Now a walk to Encarnacion.
When you think about this team, Dave, you mentioned that they're a team that likes to swing the bat. You get them in their home ballpark up in Toronto, they're going to do some damage up there. A hitter-friendly ballpark, and day games when that roof is open, it heats up. Boy, that ball's going to fly out of there.
Mariners open up the second half of the season in Toronto. First road trip, the second half of the season. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday visit, which starts the longest road trip of the season. 3 in Toronto, 3 in Boston, and 3 in New York. And I believe that's a trip where we're going to take we're going to Amtrak from Boston to New York.
Baseball coming full circle, back to the trains, right?
Ride the train. First and second. Here's the second baseman, John McDonald.
Were you stretched back east? Did you jump on the train very much, or what did you do?
A little bit, yeah. Well, everything's so close out on the East Coast that it only makes sense sometimes to get on the train rather than getting in the car. Not far enough to fly.
High fly ball left field. Going foul. Running out of room. Oh, Ryan, good effort. Ryan's got a little kamikaze in him, doesn't he?
He plays hard all the time. He doesn't care what the score is or
like it.
Yeah, any of that stuff. Have a chance to make a play, go make it.
And you never discourage that. Good stuff. Good to have a guy like that on your ball club.
Sure, Tom Wilhelmsen appreciates the effort.
Ryan 1 for 3 today with an RBI.
Nice pitch.
Ball and 2 strikes. Ryan may have hurt himself just a little bit trying to shake it off.
He'll be fine.
Mr. MD, can you tell me what's ailing me?
I just think with his attitude, it'd take a lot to get him to come out of a game.
I hear you. I agree. 2-2.
Typically that goes hand in hand, right? You play hard, things happen. He hurt his wrist or his thumb earlier in the ball game on a dive in the deep short. The guys with the dirty uniforms are the guys that usually come up with little ailments here and there.
Breaking ball set to center field. Langerhans puts it in his pocket. That'll do it. Jays get a run. They leave 2. The lead is now 8-3. Last ups for the Mariners. Ichiro will get it going, followed by Kennedy and Bradley. Here in the bottom of the 9th. Dave Sims with Mike Flowers and Dan Wilson. The Mariners have to get it done against Big 6'10" John Roush. A lot of Jays fans, Canadian fans coming down across the border. Ichiro will lead it off for the Mariners. He's 0 for 4. Ball 1 to Ichiro. 0 for 3 career against Roush.
Going to Kansas City. Kansas City playing good baseball. They beat Minnesota 10-5 today. Off to a nice start.
Two and 1. The text address up on the screen. We encourage you to send in your thoughts about this Toronto series. 2-1 from Roush. Up in the left field, Snyder for the first out. Here's Adam Kennedy. 2 for 4 today. Hit the ball hard 3 times against Kyle Drabeck. Last time up was against Zinchenski. And he grounded out.
Well, Dave, I won't text in my response, but I will say that it's good to see Jason Vargas back on track today. And
here.
Pitched very, very well, and they need that to be consistent throughout, and it's good to see Jason back and where he's feeling comfortable.
Well, Dan, we appreciate you coming by. When do we look for you again?
Next homestand.
Okay. Very good. Good to have you with us as always.
I'll be more prepared, hopefully, with the I'll get an overcoat or a sweater or something, Dave.
Yeah. Very good.
Maybe the temperatures will be up by the time we can see you again, Dan.
Let's hope. 1 out walk to Kennedy. Here comes Milton Bradley. Doubled in a run back in the 3rd inning. Expressing her feelings for the Blue Jays. Bradley 2 for 3 with a home run against John Roush. He's in an 0-2 hole. Roush makes his home now in Tucson, Arizona. Born in Louisville, Kentucky. Pitch to Milton's fouled away.
You're right, Mike. He's just a big man out there, and you would expect him to throw a little bit harder, but
he's 88.
Yeah.
Changing speeds.
High. Did you know that John Roush earned first-team All-State academic honors all 4 years in high school? Not bad.
Yeah.
6'10". As he blows away Milton Bradley 2 down. Didn't see very many jocks go All-State academic all 4 years. That's impressive. And now Jack Cust has struck out his last 2 times up. Looking in the 7th, swinging in the 5th. He's 1 for 4. Put the shift on him. Jack's 0 for 3 against Roush.
Mike, you academic All-American was it Bethel High? Is that where you went?
That is exactly where I went. And no.
Broken bat. Shortstop will take care of it. It's Escobar throwing over, and that'll do it as the Blue Jays salvage a game in this series. This was a good-looking 2-1 lead and a performance by Jason Vargas, and then it all came apart. That man right there, Jose Bautista, 3-run homer, keyed a 6-run 8th inning for Toronto.
It's still a nice series for the Mariners. Come back and win the series. You'd like to get the sweep. That's a tough thing to do. We all know that. Really nice to see Jason Vargas, as Dan was talking about, come back and pitch well. And I thought Justin Smoak, his first home run of the season, hitting the ball a long ways the other way in this ballpark. good sign for the Mariners as far as their first baseman goes. He's starting to drive the baseball. He has 5 doubles this year, too.
Dan, final comment?
So, like Mike said, winning this series is big, and hopefully you can take some of that momentum into the 4-game series in Kansas City and keep winning series and get these guys rolling again.
Well, we'll see you next week, Dan, for our next homestand. We're going to be off to Kansas City. Right now, we send you off to Brad and Bill for the Mariners postgame show.
Dave.